I want to start off maybe with Peter. I think I've read that the project came to you in 2016, but of course it developed from the initial outline. Can you talk about sort of the process that went on and that went on to construct the show we see now?
From that initial idea of astronauts returning, I'd always been really interested in what it must be like to leave the Earth and see the Earth at a distance. And it has a name. That effect is called the overview effect, and it seems to switch something in people's brains. It gives them a completely new perspective on life, and for some people it can be very spiritual, and they can start to believe in UFOs, or they can become very religious, or they can just lose their religion like that and become very depressed. Poor old William Shatner a couple of years ago came back from space and said, "All I could see is death. I just had this overwhelming sense of grief." So it does something to you, and you come back changed. You can't help but come back changed. And I wanted it to be. I wanted to explore the idea that, what does that change look like, and what if it's not you who's changed necessarily, but the whole world when you come back to that. So that was the kind of starting point.
Ich vermisse dich, mein Schatz.
Du fehlst mir auch, Mama. Sei vorsichtig da draußen.
Immer.
Mami!
Ich bin sehr froh, wieder zurück zu sein. Die Dinge sind anders.
Das kann nicht stimmen. Mama?
Wo ist sie?
Wer?
Du!
Haben Sie Halluzinationen?
Mama?
Ja.
I want to give a shout out to Rosie and Davina Coleman because they're both incredible as Alice, I think, in the show, and especially those sort of deep philosophical scenes they have with you, with Magnus, that they kind of that he has some problems still comprehending, but they are very clear about that. I just want to talk to you about sort of playing out those scenes with Alice and with both the siblings, and how was that experience for you? Yeah.
I mean, those two girls I want to give a shout out to them as well. They are extraordinary young women. It's a huge testament to their parents. They are so balanced, and together they were, I think, 11 when we were shooting the show, and such mature heads on their shoulders, and yet still completely innocent.
Yes.
And they would switch out every few hours because they had to. So sometimes one of them would come in and pick up a scene halfway through and not really get too much rehearsals and not have seen what the other one was doing. And what is amazing is it happened more than once where we'd be shooting a scene and say I was with Davina and she would do something that wasn't in the script. She'd touch my arm or something like that. And then they would switch over and Rosie would pick up the scene after lunch and she would touch my arm as well. And I'd say to her, "Did you talk to Davina at lunchtime about this?" And she said, "No, I just did what I thought was right in the scene." And they were so brilliantly in tune with each other and brilliantly in tune with the character that honestly, I felt like I was learning from them half the time, because and I think it's reflected in the show. Magnus is struggling, but she's really clear about, Alice is really clear about what's going on. And that came across in the girls in real life. They were just very calm, collected. They're great girls.
Menschen sehen Dinge da oben. Und wenn sie zurückkommen, werden sie verrückt. Das ist keine Psychose. Wirke ich auf dich wie früher?
Es fühlt sich nicht so an, als ob du meine Mom wärst.